Okay, it looks like I got things right, maybe. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Except my comments are over here. Okay, I have to move things. It's been a day of moving stuff back and forth. I was trying to move things around in the studio. And okay, so you can imagine being not the healthiest that I am today, how much that helped me to do that. Why won't you move? There. Okay, and go over there. So I'm with Ecamm. I have this. If I could show you this, let me show you real quick. Welcome everybody. I'm Gretchen. Thank you for being here. Joanne, yay! Welcome, Joanne. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She's here. She's new. Let's see, Janice. If I'd been cooking, they wouldn't have had a chance. Fortunately, Bob made like rosemary lemon chicken for me. So good. Let's see. And yes, there's Joanne. Welcome to the party. New. I'm so excited to have you here. Gloria's here. Angie's finishing up hers. I know she'll probably come over here. Janice is here. And Jay Whitty's here. Hey, you know what? You need to remind me, if you could, please. I'd appreciate it, of your first name. Is it Janice? I'm not sure. I forgot. Oh, see, my excuse always when I taught school was the kids would come back when they were like seniors in high school and say, what do you mean you don't remember my name? Or they'd come back when they were in college to visit me, and I'm like, oh, seriously? You were in my classroom when you were 6. So my excuse was if they grew up like past shoulder height of me, then I usually forgot their name. And if I still remembered their name, were they that kid that I still remembered their name? Yeah. Thank you. Best. So Janet. Okay, got it. I was pretty close. Good. Janice is here. Janet. Yum. Yes. Yeah. My husband is just a superb cook. Yeah. When he was young, his grandmother and his great aunt. Now, his great aunt lived in the French Quarter in New Orleans. Was a tour guide there. She lived on the St. John Bayou, I guess. I don't know the area, and his grandmother was the mother of 12 and literally had a dirt floor at their home in Biloxi. But he went down there when he was about 15, and his grandmother and his great aunt in his grandmother's dirt floor kitchen took him through the day, taught him all through the recipes about flavoring and stuff. And for the whole time that he was there, they just taught him how to cook. So he was always cooked with his mom. I mean, because he wanted things on the table when his mom got home from work. So he'd do all the prep work. And then in college, he was the steward for his fraternity. So he did a lot of cooking for a large number. Then he was a manager of a restaurant, and then went on, but he just loves to cook. It's his love language. So I don't have to cook. I don't cook anyway because it's a health hazard. Oh well. So Donna, hey Donna. Got a call from your mother-in-law. Oh, I hope it was a good one. I really do. But yeah, when you remember the names, oh man. Hi, Angie. Oh, you're not late. I'm still yammering. I was getting things going. So you guys, what do you think of my new overlay I made today? I took one of my photographs and I did a cutout. Let's see. Okay, I was going to show you if I can do this. I was going to show you what it looks like, why I'm always goofing around here. Demo mode. Command D, is that it? Oop. Now, do you see on my screen? Oh, I duplicated it. Nope, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, what did I do? Uh-oh. Oh, and then there's another scene. I just moved through scenes. But that one we're coming to, okay, I can't show you. Anyway, my desktop on my computer has all these scenes or these things open for eCam that I'm trying so that I can do this, put it all together. I just set up I went out to the trailer, to our RV. We have a little 20-foot travel trailer that when we go camping, because we like to camp. But we don't like to sleep on the ground anymore. And so there was a TV in there that had been, I think, my mom's. And we never use it when we're out camping. So we brought it in here, and I'm going to hook it up for a second monitor so that I can see. I'll be able to see over here all the stuff on eCam, and then I can still have my desktop clear for doing editing, because it's just my brain. There's things behind things behind things, and I have to breathe. It's been one of those days, those kind of things. But first off, cheers, everybody. Welcome to my 50th. It's the day of 50s. Mina's birthday. My friend Dina had her 50th showing of Silver Lining Home Place. And it's my 50th day in a row of having KepyPen It Reel show. Yes, 5 of them had to be pre-recorded. I didn't go live on those, but they still showed. And I even went through that day that I went live after my knee surgery. Oh my goodness, that was funny. And then the day that we were here and everything kept going wrong and I couldn't think, and all you could see was my striped socks. It was like the Wicked Witch of the East. That was a day. Oh well. Cheers to everyone, and thank you for coming tonight. So, we're going to do some art, and we're going to do a story. So, votes, who wants story first or art first? I love this, Donna. They see it's a student older than 12. They pretend not to know me. Oh my gosh. Oh, a teacher's aid for preschoolers. Yes. Yeah, that is a challenge. Yes, it is. It is always so things. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Kids. Oh, but when they send you letters years later, or when they let you know they've had kids, and when literally I can remember when I went in to become a librarian, and this girl walked in to talk to me, and she looks at me and she goes, Mrs. Shepherd, and she had been in my 2nd grade class, and she was now a mom, and her kindergartner was coming, and so it was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it was pretty special. Yeah. But of course I taught in the same school district for 35 years. So I had a lot of turnover of families that I knew a lot. So, all right. Yes, energy is zapping. It is one of those things if I babble, just start hollering at me, you guys. I apologize. I took some cold medicine. Like I said, I'm still waiting. Tomorrow afternoon, hopefully I'll get the results back from the COVID tests that we had to send in. My oldest daughter is very ill right now at home. She's had to take a test. She's a healthcare worker. So anyway, it's one of those kind of, but we've all, at least we're all getting the same kind of head cold, chest cold, that kind of thing, that if it is that we're getting with this, and body not as serious as it could be, because yeah, don't need the serious, that I can stay home with a cold. Angie, what's Angie not listening to? Oh, could it be rest. Or let's see, does Angie know how to say N-O? No. N-O. Sign language. N-O. Yeah. Oh. Angie, your whole pour tonight was really beautiful. It was just the colors, the whole thing. It was just really lovely. And I understand how invigorating it is to feel, to do something like that. That art is so satisfying, but still, you need to rest. Sometimes you need to just do a little thing. So you still haven't told me whether you want story first or your channel, your choice. Okay, let's do the story first, because if I run out of voice, I can always hold it. If I run out of voice, I can always just hand signal with the art thing that we're going to do. But I have to move a big bucket of water and some paintbrushes and a water dish of soap. Okay. They're going, what in the heck is she doing? Okay, let's find us a book. There's the book. Let's go to the book. There. Oh, goodness. All right. For some reason, I set up a new camera thing today, and it has decided to rename my things to something that they're not. Okay, good. So the book I'm going to read is called The Wise Old Woman, because and I chose this one. Why that one? Okay. All right. Up. Something's in my way. Okay. There we go. Oops. Nope. There we go. Wise Old Woman. Got it. All right. That's fine. So I chose it because it is it's a Japanese story. And the art that we're going to be doing later is a Japanese art called Suminigashi. And it's a very fun, old, ancient technique. This book, I couldn't find one in my collection that had Suminigashi kind of work in it. And I couldn't find, so I thought, well, I'll stick with the cultural, because, you know, I love Japanese art. I love a lot of the cultural things about them, the emphasis they put on art in their schools, in their culture, is beyond amazing. So that's what I'm going to do. Boom. Oh, why is that doing that? There we go. There we go. They spend as much time on the arts as on anything else, plus also the research that I read years ago. Because of their written art language, the way they write, it is actually trains the brain in an artistic manner. It looks at it as an art form rather than as a structure type of method of writing things. So instead of looking at the written language in Japan as a written language, your brain looks at it as art. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, story. The Wise Old Woman. It is retold by Yoshiko Uchida, and it's illustrated by Martin Springett. I don't know anything about these authors tonight. This was, again, a discard book from a library. So who buys up discard books? But me, the wise old woman. But the colors I really liked, and I just, the whole, it's the simple complexity that they have in their artwork that is just amazing. This book was published in 1994. Okay. There we go. Long ago, in the wooded hills of Japan, a young farmer and his aged mother lived in a village ruled by a cruel young lord. "Anyone over 70 is no longer useful," the lord declared, "and must be taken into the mountains and left to die." When the young farmer's mother reached that dreaded age, he could not bear to think of what he must do, but his mother spoke the words he could not say. "It is time now for you to take me into the mountains," she said softly. So early the next morning, the farmer lifted his mother to his back and reluctantly set off up the steep mountain path. Up and up he climbed until the trees hid the sun and the path was gone, until he could no longer hear the birds, but only the sound of the wind shivering through the trees. On and on he climbed, but as soon as he heard his mother breaking off small twigs from the trees they passed. "I'm marking the path for you, my son," she said, "so you will not lose your way going home." The young farmer could bear it no longer. "Mother, I cannot leave you behind in the mountains," he said. "We're going home together, and I will never, ever leave you." And so, in the dark shadows of the night, the farmer carried his mother back home. He dug a deep cave beneath the kitchen, and from that day, the old woman lived in his secret room, spinning and weaving. In this way, 2 years passed, and no one in the village knew of the farmer's secret. Then one day, 3 fierce warriors in full armor galloped into the small village like a sudden mountain storm. "We come from the mighty Lord Hija to warn you." Oh, need a sip. They shouted to the young lord. "When 3 suns have set and 3 moons have risen, he will come to conquer your village." The cruel young lord was not very brave. "Please," he begged, "I will do anything if you just spare me." "Lord Hija knows no mercy," the warriors thundered, "but he does respect a clever mind. Solve the 3 impossible tasks written upon this scroll, and you and your village will be saved." Then, tossing the scroll at the young lord, they galloped off as quickly as they had come. "First, make a coil of rope out of ashes," the young lord read. "Second, run a single thread through the length of a crooked log. And third, make a drum that sounds without being beaten." Sorry. The young lord quickly gathered the 6 wisest people of his village and ordered them to solve the impossible tasks. They put their heads together and pondered through the night, but when the stars had vanished and the roosters began to crow, they still had no answers for the young lord. They hurried to the village shrine and sounded the giant bronze bell. "Help us," they pleaded to the gods. But the gods remained silent. They went next to the creek, the clever badger of the forest, for they knew that animals are sometimes wiser than men. "Surely you can help us," they said eagerly. But the badger only shook his head. "As clever as I am," he said, "I see no way to solve such impossible tasks as these." When the 6 wise people returned to the young lord without any answers, he exploded in anger. "You are all stupid fools," he shouted, and he threw them into his darkest dungeon. Then he posted a sign in the village square offering a bag of gold to anyone who could help him. The young farmer hurried home to tell his mother about the impossible tasks and Lord Hija's threat. "What are we to do?" he asked sadly. "We will soon be conquered by yet another cruel lord." Water. This is not unusual. I always had to make it through stories at school when I had the cough. The old woman thought carefully and then asked her son to bring her a coil of rope, a crooked log with a hole running through the length of it, and a small hand drum. When the farmer had done as she asked, she set to work. First, she soaked the coil of rope in salt water and dried it well. Then, setting a match to it, she let it burn. But it did not crumble. It held its shape. "There," she said, "there is your rope of ash." Next, she put a little honey on one end of a crooked log, and at the other she placed an ant with a silk thread tied to it. "Honey, would you go grab me a throat lozenge? Please? Thank you."
Yeah.
Rescue. With a silk thread tied to it. The farmer watched in amazement as the tiny ant wound its way through the hole to get to the honey, taking the silk thread with it. And the second task was done. Finally, the old woman opened one side of a small hand drum and sealed a bumblebee inside. As the bee beat itself around the sides of the drum trying to escape, the drum sounded without being beaten. And the third task was done. When the farmer presented the 3 completed tasks to the young lord, he was astonished. "Surely a young man such as you could not be wiser than the wisest people of our village," he said. "Tell me what person of wisdom helped you solve these impossible tasks." The young farmer could not lie, and he told the lord how he had kept his mother hidden for the past 2 years. "It is she who solved each of your tasks and saved our village from Lord Hija," he explained. The farmer waited to be thrown into the dungeon for disobeying the Lord, but instead of being angry, the young lord was silent and thoughtful. "I have been wrong," he said at last. "Never again will I send our old people into the mountains to die. Henceforth, they will be treated with respect and honor, and will share with us the wisdom of their years." Whereupon the young lord freed everyone in his dungeon. Next, he summoned the old woman and gave her 3 bags of gold for saving the village. Finally, he allowed the farmer to march with his finest warriors to Lord Hija's castle. That was a good one. The long processions wound slowly over the mountain roads, carrying its precious cargo. And it was the young farmer who carried the Lord's banner fluttering high in the autumn wind. When they presented to Lord Hija the rope of ash and the threaded log and the drum that sounded without being beaten, he stroked his chin thoughtfully. "I see there is much wisdom in this small village," he said, "for you have solved all 3 truly impossible tasks. Go home," he directed the young farmer, "and tell your lord that his people deserve to live in peace." From that day on, Lord Hita never threatened the small village again. The villagers prospered, and the young farmer and his mother lived in peace and plenty for all their days and lives. I'll be back in a second. Hang on. Oh, that was a good one. Okay. Whew. Man. One page too long, huh? And that's the story of the wise old woman. I love that one. Here we go. So, I have something to show you. Where did it go? You can hear me chewing my throat lozenge, can't you? There we go. Here we go. Okay. This is Suminigashi. I have a book here that I thought about doing, but I think we'll come back and do this another night. It's a whole bunch of things about, because Sumi, S-U-M-I, means ink in Japanese, and E means painting. So Sumi-e simply means ink painting. And this is a whole book of doing different kind of paintings with just ink. But I had Suminigashi on the brain, which is the art of paper marbling. And it's an ancient old art. And what I have here for us, it can be done with like calligraphy and ink. I think you could probably do it with alcohol ink. Okay. Troll to ban. Let me just check through these real quick for you guys. And isn't it? Old book sales. I have to go to the mountains. And Gloria, you're hilarious. Yeah. I'm 5 years away from going to the mountains myself, although I just could go there willingly. Hey, you're in a winter storm warning. It is hitting everywhere. In Washington here, we've had torrential rains. They're expecting between 2 and 6 inches between yesterday and Friday. 2 to 6 inches. We here in the Western Washington, it got real warm and everything kind of, I mean, it's all of a sudden gotten warm and we've had all that snow. So there's all this melt off. But in the mountains, it's snowing like crazy. And what's happened is, so what's happened is that, I told you guys one day about Washington State. So on the coast, the Western Washington, then there's the Cascade Mountains, and then there's Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington is the larger part, but we're along the coast. So you got to cross the mountains to get from one side to the other. It's a 2.5 hour drive to my sister's over in Eastern Washington, in Yakima, 2.5, 3 hours. People go back and forth. People actually commute back and forth from Cle Elum or to Seattle. There are several main mountain passes. There's the North Cascades, which is closed already because it's in the North Cascades and it's been closed completely because it has tons of snow. It's really high elevation. Then next down is Stevens Pass. Stevens Pass has so much, and it's normally kept open. No, not today. It's closed. Next is Snoqualmie Pass, I-90. Goes across. Closed. The main thoroughfare. 279 inches of snow since October. Crazy. Chinook Pass is, of course, closed. Been closed because it goes by Mount Rainier and it's too high. White Pass, usually kept open. Always. Closed. And Blewett Pass is closed over there. Till Saturday. Unless you want to, if you want to go to Eastern Washington, you have to drive south to Portland, along the Columbia River, and then come back up. Hopefully, Sadish Pass isn't closed. It's crazy right now. So, crazy, crazy. Oh, good. I'm glad you got it finished. Drink a shot of whiskey. Oh, my wine was just not cutting through it. I needed my hot toddy that my mom always had. That's what I should have had. I should have had some of my cinnamon whiskey. I have some Fireball. Oh, that'll cut through things. So, back to it. So, Suminigashi is this art of making a paper marbling, and I've done it with kids. One of the tricks to it is, good, you have to have paper that is not sized. Okay, so I have some paper here. I think it's photo paper, but it's cotton. It's best if it's 100% cotton paper and not sized. Now there's another kind of paper they call Sumi paper. It's like a rice paper, and it's supposed to work, but I've never had a lot of success with it. It's too thin for what I want to do. But you can do this, and you can make all kinds of cool stuff. You need some ink. I actually have this I got from Blick. Suminigashi marbling ink. You can also use, I think, alcohol ink, probably. So I'm going to move this down. You want your water to be fairly still. And in here is water with a drop of dish soap. You don't want more than just a drop, okay? You just want a little bit. And then you have your tools. Now this is a standard kind of that is oftentimes used for Suminigashi, and it's a really meditative kind of art form, and you go straight down with it. The other one, you can do all different kinds of things. Like I have these long Q-tip things that I use for art with my grandkids, and I used to use at school all the time. I wouldn't probably use the Q-tip side. I would instead use the wooden end to dip in the water that has the soap in it. So what I'm going to do, make sure you guys can see, I'm going to move my ink over here. Ooh, that squeaked, didn't it? Have that there. I think I'll use that. I also have a small paintbrush for that. All right, so I didn't practice this, by the way. Oh, did you see? I got a new camera for you to see up there. You can see from above. I dug out an old iPad. And let's see. Let's do some blue. I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to put a couple drops in my just here. Probably don't need that much. And I'll do orange. That's the other color. Yeah. If I do two colors. we'll see how this does. Because what you do, so here you can see my ink. All right, got that there. You can kind of see my water's right there. I'm gonna move this ink out of the way. Scoot my keister up closer. Good, so you guys can see there. And they say one of the things about this, because it's so relaxing, is to kind of just rest your arms on it. I swiped one of Bob's casserole dishes. I didn't really have to swipe too much. I just smiled. I'm going to start with the blue. And I just put a little bit on there. And I'm going to put it right straight down into the water. Just touch it. And then I'm going to take the dish soap, and you see how it, and then I'll go back and forth and back. I need it darker. I need more ink. I need more ink. There we go. Whoops! Big drop. Now let's see what happens. Whoa, yeah. And it will sometimes sink in if you get too much. Let's try a different color. I have a little, oops. That's what I forgot to do. Let's see if we can get some orange in here. And you can just, I guess, apparently the Suminigashi masters of this would sit for ages and do this back and forth. And it'll marble. I'll show you how it's going to marble. Oh, my paintbrush is sucking up. I drip too much. So it floats on the water like this. And you're just supposed to barely touch the water with it, the ink. And you can blow it then if you want to get it to swirl. And then, once you have it how you want it, you take your paper and you lay your paper on the water, just like that. And for some inks, what you'll do is you'll rinse it. You can rinse it through that to take the excess off. But for this, Lick said you're supposed to blot it right away. See, I've got a piece of paper towel over here and I'm blotting it. And look at that! Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Okay. I love more. Snow butt high to a giraffe? Okay. I love that. Snow butt high to a giraffe. Fireball would help. Fireball's going. So, okay, can you see that? I'm catching up with everybody's. Yeah. Cool. Oh, I'm glad you like. Is it the camera angle? Is it the new one that I put up? It kind of pokes over the top of my my monitor, my computer. I had a monopod that I didn't because I don't like using a monopod when I photograph. So I stood it up and I got one of those angle things that you use for holding pipes on, and I drilled it into the desk to hold it up. So I'm such a DIY. Like my mom's motto was fix it up, wear it out, make it do without. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now here's the wonderful thing about this. You would think, oh, oh, Janice, yes, I would love to do this. I think one of the things that I really like is is doing different things and trying them out and seeing what they say. Because some people have said that they had really great success with this stuff and they do other kind of things, but there's other things to do. Let's see. How cool. Just checked at least 2 inches. Oh my gosh. So one group I was with, or I saw this said that you put the put soap in the water. I tried that. It didn't work. But this what's cool about this is that you can do this, and I've done this with the grandkids on bigger size paper. Like I'll show you some of. So this was one with Layla did. And I did this with Lachlan too when he was like, I think this one was Lachlan's, when he was like 2. Some of them are real pale, but you can do it with like calligraphy ink. And I've seen it done with black and no other colors. So let's try it. You don't have to clear the paper, the water either, which is pretty cool. What you can do though, if you've worried about there being ink left over, you can just go in and soak it up because it sinks and it'll soak up. Where am I going to put that now? I'll put it over here. That'll work. I didn't think that through. Oh well, let's try it with just black. And clean this out. Some of the inks you can get, like you can use an ink dropper. And it's got a lot of blue still in it. That's the one thing about, okay, so one thing you need to know about this stuff though. Yes, it's great. It'll stick to the paper, but it'll also, if it gets on your clothes, yeah. I usually with the grandkids, I have like old t-shirts and stuff for them to wear and all that stuff. Me, I'm just the slob here. Oh well. We're going to try black and see what happens if we can get, if we need to change the water. They said you didn't need to, but we're going to test. I have that there. I have my black. I pulled out the black. And I'm just going to do black because, you know me, I like black and white. Okay. Oh, and I think I picked it. So I'm going to go. I might need fresh water. I say I need fresh water. Hang on, guys. Give me 2 seconds. So hopefully you're talking amongst yourselves. You're laughing because Gretchen just walked out on her live. No! Here we go. All right. Try this again. So I think it's crazy when they say you don't need fresh water. Either that or I'm doing something wrong. All right. Here we go. Ooh, there. Yep. Ooh, rolling. And the water's moving. This is what the Suminigashi masters would originally do. It was done with black and white. Not too much ink on there. Look at how it just takes off like that. I guess from what I've read about this, that they could do thousands of these in a, just over and over and over, and they would make marble paper this way. Long before marbleized paper ever came, to the Western world anywhere. And then, see, look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, you kind of get lost in one spot. You can take a stick and kind of swirl it around like you do with pouring art, You know how, instead of a marble, you use a stick or a paintbrush or a palette. You're just using this. And then it sends it places depending on where you've put the color. And I'm going to try something with my little stick. Where did it go? Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so now I'm going to sneeze. No, not. Oh my gosh. Hippopotamus, 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 hippopotamus. That's the trick to try to make it so you don't sneeze. Say hippopotamus a whole bunch of times. Okay, let's try this again. You lay it down in the water and pull it up. Oh! And you can rinse off the extra and then blot it. Okay, I'm like a kid in a candy store, you guys. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh my gosh. What are you guys saying? Oh, I would love to do that kind of, there is Blick. You know how Blick has all those teaching things to do, how they have course on YouTube, but they've always had videos. I used to get ideas from them all the time before YouTube even. The one for Suminigashi, for this one, the gal that it's 11 years old and it's on there. Yeah, so you do this. That's one of the things, like I have some paper that I have folded for for the kid, so the kids could hold it. But you can also do this and make an edge, and then get 2 pieces and make a front and a back, and then you can have a little book type thing you could do, or you can just do a note card and have it and fold it in front of a note card. It would be really cool. Oh, do you guys know how to do Japanese stab binding? Oh my gosh. So you could do these and then do stab binding and make really cool like journal books and everything. But I like it. I like them. I like them. I like them. I like them. I'm a little excited. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I could do black and white in this forever. Oops, I dropped it in the water. And it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, so you can do the black and white. You don't have to get the Suminigashi ink. You can do it with calligraphy ink. Oh yeah. Yes. Okay. So can this be done on materials such as cloth? Yes, it is. Some of their more famous work is done on silk. I've seen it done on silk cloth. I've done it on cloth myself. And show the ink again. Yes. So this is the one that I got. Suminigashi, Suminagasshi. This is the one that I know that Blick has. This is the only kit I've found. It's not that expensive. And it lasts. So literally this kit has these colors in it. The bottles come like this. I think it also comes with some like drop things that you can put in to do things. I did this at a stream night at a local elementary school and had a room set up. We had 4 or 5 tables set up. Each table had 2 stations on it, 2 or 3 stations on it. For kids to do this, we probably put 150, 200 kids. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, the hippopotamus didn't work that time. Hippopotamus. He took a vacation. We probably put at least 150, 200 kids through the stations. Every child got to do 1, maybe 2. And this was the kit. I didn't use up the whole kit for that many kids. It lasts forever. You can do it like if you have old India ink sitting around, old calligraphy ink. I dropped it in the water again. You can use it. I haven't tried it with alcohol ink. It would be interesting to see if you could do that. So let me get to me. Okay, there. Whew. So isn't that cool? I just think it's, again, yeah. What question was that, Janet? Janet had a question, and I didn't see it. It's just a really fun activity to do. Can be really soothing, and and it can be a little frustrating at first sometimes, such as cloth. Yes, I said that was the question. And I think the thing on Blick that she has shows her a piece she did with silk. The important thing for paper is to get paper that does not have any sizing, because sizing is meant to stop absorption. stop moisture absorption. So 100% cotton paper, if you can find it, works really, really well. You could probably do it on like oh, what's the cotton that's just fabric? Muslin. You could probably do it on muslin. Get some cheap muslin and stuff like that and try it on that. I'm going to make a zebra. That would be fun. You could most likely, if you do it on cloth, you have to get the treatment for fabric that sets the color. And they tell you on Blick what that is. I can't remember. For me, what we always did to set color with fabric that bled or anything like that is that you put the fabric in a bucket of cold water and put that has maybe like a half gallon of cold water and a full cup of salt, at least a full cup of salt, or a full cup of vinegar. That will help to set color. And you could do it to make pillows. It would be really cool to do that. Something else to do, yes. Just, Gloria says, just what she needs. Something else to do. Yes. I'm going to try it with your alcohol inks. And let me know. Oh, Janet, let me know how it works. I don't have any alcohol inks around here. It's one of the things I just, with the good thing about this stuff, okay, oh, backwards. No, it's not. Is that it's non-toxic. This particular ink was non-toxic. And it's made of plant-based and all that stuff. So since I have 5 grandchildren and I tend to do whatever with them, all the art stuff, and even when they're very little, I try to make sure that things are non-toxic. You know, I'm a DDT kid. I grew up around DDT, malathion, parathion on the orchards, you know, so I'm kind of cautious about all the chemicals that are around my kids, grandkids. I would love to see this. I would really want to know how it goes. Oh, yeah, I've seen it done with fingernail polish, but yeah, you're right. We have some tie-dye ink still here from when Layla and I did our tie-dye shirts this past summer. Oh, the paper you need to use should be 100% cotton with no sizing. It can be done on like regular copy paper, but it has sizing and it won't absorb the ink and the colors won't be quite as, and your edges won't be quite as clear. One of the gals I watched that did it with calligraphy ink rinsed it off before she took it out of the water so she had clearer lines. It's again, much like pour art, you kind of have to oh yeah, I have a bunch of photo paper that's matte photo paper and this is some fairly heavy stuff. I had boxes of some things, and when I order my ink from Canon, because I have 2 giant Canon printers. I have one that does 13 by 19 and one that does 17 by 22 up to. So I have it, and they, you know, big giant thing. So Canon likes me when I order ink, and they send me free paper. Samples, this and that, and I don't use the matte paper, and the matte paper is generally cotton. So look for, you know, it doesn't have to be as heavy as this. I've seen it done on lighter weight paper, and then there's this paper that they call this Sumi paper. Let me see something here real quick. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Oh, there it is. Let's see if this will do this. Hang on. Let you guys see this. I'm gonna try this with this other paper that they say is a Sumi paper, but it's like it's really, really, really lightweight. I got it at an art place here in Seattle. Dick Smith, I think. You guys should know that from paint. Which, sadness and woe, Dick Smith closed their main Seattle store. Which, okay, let's see if, oh, kind of. Ooh, look at that. All right. So this is this paper like this. You see how thin it is? And it's got a kind of a texture side, and the other side is smooth, and it's very thin. It's sold as Sumi paper. So, whoa, let's see what happens. My problem with it is it's so fragile. Look at that. See, it just came right apart. Yes, it made a beautiful design, but then the beautiful design just fell apart when I tried to do anything. I would have had to pull it, just barely touch the water, and then I would have had to put it right on to be blotted. So this is not the kind of paper to use with kids because they would be screaming and crying. Oh well, that one didn't work. So I hope you guys like this. I think you did. And no, I didn't use the shiny side down. The paper, the side that goes to the ink is the rough side, would be the side that didn't have anything on it. So U-pulp paper, is that really thin stuff? Yeah, that could be that. Yeah. You know more. I know photography paper, but I don't know other kind of papers so well. I just know if I can erase on it. I have to do turquoise. The colors in this kit are not real vibrant, but they say you can mix them. I have not tried that. Thank you. It's only $11.53 on Blick. Yay. That's good. About the cloth. Yes. Okay. You can get cotton paper. I got a bunch of it on eBay one time. It was a photographic paper that somebody had bought that it was gone out of style, or the company closed, so he had a bunch and he wasn't using it and he was selling it. You can get photo paper, and you can find 100% cotton and go for the lighter weight. If you're going to do that, get the 100% cotton. That's maybe the 190 rather than the 310, because that's real heavy, real expensive. But sometimes you can find that on sale. Moab has it, but Canon's matte paper is not very expensive, and you can get great big pieces. I mean, you can get great big boxes of it and then cut it to size that you want. Muslin would, yeah, and so just do I would test it out. If you're going to test it out with some paper that you have. One of the people was doing it with, like, they were trying different kinds of scrap paper that they had to see what it would work, what would work for them. So cool. Good. I have to find the paper first. Where might I find some? You can try Blick, Cheap Joe's. If you might try Michael's. See what they go for, the cheapest 100% cotton. Just write in 100% cotton paper, no sizing, and Google it. The world of Google. Oh, Joanne, you do quilts? My sister's a quilter. And then there's a gal out here in Long Branch that just went back east for a quilt to be put in a museum near where you guys are, Angie and Gloria. I can't remember. Maybe it was in Williamsburg. I'm wrong. I can't remember. Oh, my goodness. Watercolor paper would probably work because watercolor paper has that tooth to it and generally is meant to absorb, and it doesn't have sizing. Most watercolor paper that I know is cotton. So the one thing, I have some bamboo paper and I have some hemp paper. I haven't tried it on those. I would think that those kind of papers would work too, but they're also more expensive. But I bet watercolor paper would be so. Yeah, the Sumi paper does. It almost looks like rice paper. I think the Sumi paper is meant for doing this stuff, this kind of Sumi art for drawing it, because a true Sumi paintbrush. Let me get this one cleaned up a little bit. So this is shaped very much kind of like a Sumi paintbrush. You can see, can you guys see there? It's looking at my eyes, focusing on me. There, oh, biddle, BD. I got something in my head. Here we go. Okay. There. Maybe. Anyway, that kind of a paintbrush. And some of them are larger. They just have a longer sort of brush to them. And they do this really cool kind of aspect to it. I think, yeah. I'll come back on tomorrow night. Tomorrow's what, Friday? Tomorrow's Friday. I'll do, tomorrow we'll do a short, just this. And we'll do some on the rice paper with just some ink and painting on this. Just see what it looks like. And for a little difference. This is a fun story. This is a great book and story. I like the dragons. For those of us who can't. Another way to draw. Another way to draw. Instead of the right brain, well, just like this idea. It's it uses different kind of shapes. So I'll come. We'll do that tonight, tomorrow night. That'll be fun. All right. So I kind of like this 6:30 rather than 7. What do you guys think? I know it's better for some of you guys on the East Coast. Oop. Bye, troll. There's a whole kit with ink, paper, and tools for $27.99. Oh, cool. Amazon. Nice. What's Paducah? It's the Paducah, Tennessee Museum. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the Cheryl. Her name was Cheryl Lowe. And she did a quilt for, we have a new elementary school that was built up here. And but she went back east and she did a quilt for the school, but she went back east, took one back and for a whole thing. Yeah, she's amazing. She's quite something, historian and whatnot. So Mixed media paper, 90 pounds, 100% cotton. Large pads are usually only $5 for 40 to 50 sheets. Good job. Yeah, 90-pound paper should be, I mean, because this stuff is like, this is probably 210, maybe 270. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty thick, heavy stuff that I had. So, saving Kate on Amazon for good. Oh, you guys are good. Yay. Okay, we will switch to 6:30. I'm thinking it's a better time for you guys on the East Coast. And I know sometimes we might have one that overlaps with somebody, and what we'll just do is I'll adjust, or maybe I'm thinking of, I don't know how long I can sustain 7 days a week. So we might back up to a little bit, to some things but tomorrow night I'll probably just read this little story in this book, and we'll do some art things. So bring your sketchbooks and bring your ink and some watercolor paper or black ink and stuff, and a fat brush that's got a lot of ability to move, and we'll see what we can do. Since I've made a fine mess here in front of my computer, we might as well keep it up. You know, because my motto, whenever I taught, I put this in the letter that went home with my students on the first day of school. Even oftentimes sent it to them before school started. And I would say, thank you so much for letting me be your child's teacher. It is an honor, and it is going to be a great year. And my motto is, if they come home too clean, they must not have had any fun. And we are going to have fun. So, if your child comes home with their clothes on wrong side out because they were dressed in fancy clothes, it's because I had them turn them wrong side out so they didn't get paint and goo on them. Personally, I would prefer that you either send a paint shirt or just send them to school in their grubby paint clothes. And that's always been my motto. If they come home too clean, they must not have had any fun. So that's the way it goes. Oh, Faber-Castell. I like this, Faber-Castellated. That's a good autocorrect. Very close. Very iffy there, though. Thank you, Joanne. I'm so glad you guys, this has just been a delight to have you here. I really enjoy this. This has gotten me through so much this past 50 days. You guys know, on the 29th of November, I had that knee replacement, and I've been doing well, but it was still a lot. And some things, and just having this to look forward to push myself to get done, to learn new things, to, keep my brain cells from snapping. And, it's just been a delight. It's been really a delight. And I'm learning some things with eCam. I'm getting my new, things set up. I kind of like this new, this is a photograph that I have, and it to me, it felt like it went kind of with the whole thing. So it's been fun, and I appreciate you guys all coming along and letting me share in your journeys too. It's just an honor to have you come into my life every night and to be able to go and join in on yours. So we're going to close out, but before, I'm going to send you away with what I always say. Keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. And the first place you're going to go look is in the mirror. And I will see you all tomorrow at 6:30. New time. A little more energy. And maybe I won't cough all the way through. Thank you. All right. Love you bunches.